What's up, y'all? Welcome to another episode of the Southern University Quarterback Club podcast. It's your boy Hal here tonight.
And your boy BJ Jones.
And look, we have finally made it to week one of the Southern University football season. This week, we have Alabama State as our first game, and we are going into Montgomery, Alabama this weekend to take on the Fighting Hornets. Um, where Dooley plans to start off the season off on a good note. Now, this is the Labor Day Classic for Alabama State, which is traditionally a huge game for Alabama State and the city of Montgomery. So, BJ, could you tell us a little bit about just kind of the atmosphere in Montgomery, and how do you think this weekend will be as far as being in the city of Montgomery and just the atmosphere of the football game?
Well, I can tell you this. This has been all people have been talking about since the middle of the summer. This Labor Day Classic. The Labor Day Classic um, being held at Alabama State started back in 2017. And you had Alabama State versus Tuskegee in 2017, 2018, 2019 was supposed to be 2020, but COVID canceled that. And then they had Miles College in 21 and 22. Didn't get the same kind of, excitement that you got for Tuskegee. But this year, Southern University coming in, it's back. So like I said, they've been talking about this since the middle of the summer. Had my family reunion around the 4th of July, close to Montgomery. People saw me in Southern stuff. They had some things to say. So to say that the people of Montgomery and the fans of Alabama State are excited about this one, is putting it lightly. They are charged up for this one. You've seen the trash talk
Hmm.
that they're putting out there, and it will be a hostile environment on Saturday. It will be a hostile environment on Saturday. So just looking forward to it, man. Looking forward to it.
Man, I'm looking forward to it. Also, I'm coming in Saturday morning. This will be my first game in Alabama State's new stadium, so I'm definitely looking forward to the opportunity. Now, Alabama State was 6-5 last year with a 4-4 conference record. And I think Coach Eddie Robinson is coming in this year. Having getting his feet wet last year in the Southwest Athletic Conference, and trying to improve on this year. Um, could you kind of elaborate on the few players they do have, and what's the impact players on offense and impact players on defense?
Well, on offense, the impact guy is going to be Keyshawn Johnson, number one, playing wide receiver. Keyshawn is, I'm gonna be honest with you, he's one of the best receivers in the conference.
Hmm.
If he had a quarterback to get him the ball, you would see how great this young man is. But come in, he's been a mainstay playing the receiver position since he's been there. He is actually the nephew of Harry Williams, one of my high school teammates, who's the offensive coordinator at Alabama State.
Wow.
So I've seen Keshawn grow up, and he's wearing number one this year. So he earned that. A great young man on and off the field. So he's a guy you're gonna have to look for. Uh, Also, man, at running back, Juwan Howell, number 8. Alabama State lacked a running game last year. As a matter of fact, they were ranked 11th in the conference as far as rushing yards and rushing yards per game. But Juwan Howell, he's a guy that can tote the mail. He's a big back. He's 6'1", about 220, and he can tote it. And that's the type of offense that they want to play. It's going to be ground and pound. And of course, you got Demetrius Davis coming back, 4-star, out of your neck of the woods, Houston, Texas, North Shore High School, originally signed with Auburn. He's back at Alabama State. Didn't have the best year last year. Um, Alabama State offensively, if you look at it across the board, rushing and passing, they were next to last in pretty much every category. Couldn't run the ball, couldn't throw it. And Davis struggled. D. Davis only 7 touchdowns, 4 interceptions. And I think when you go back and look at it, In 5 games last year, he didn't even have 100 yards passing.
Wow.
So similar to what we saw with Bashawn McCray a year ago. Believe it or not, Bashawn McCray actually threw for 400 more yards than D Davis. If you didn't think that was possible, so when you talk about improvement from the quarterback position and what they're looking for, that's what we're talking about. They did go get a young man by the name of Damon Stewart, a
Mhm.
transfer from out of UAB. Uh, he's a small guy, like D Davis. D Davis is listed at 5'11", 6 feet. I've stood next to him.
5'9".
He's probably about 5'9". And Damon Stewart is also a small guy. He's about 5'10", maybe 165 ish. Very athletic. Offensively, they bring back the entire offensive line. So that's a positive there. Defensively is where this team this is their mainstay. Defensively, Bubba Adams, All American linebacker, third in the country in tackles, second in the country in tackles for losses. I felt should have been SWAC Defensive Player of the Year a year ago. He's back at the linebacker position. In their secondary, they're going to look like a basketball team in the secondary. You're going to have Adrian Maddox at safety. He goes 6'3". You're going to have Mikey Victor at one corner. He goes 6'3". And then to hit it home, my little cousin is going to be starting at the other corner, James Burgess. We call him Bub, but James Burgess starting at the other corner. He's 6'3". They are very long in the secondary. They play a lot of man to man, and they are sure tacklers on the back end. We talk about the defense. That was ranked second in total defense. They were ranked third against the run behind Southern, second in the pass, right in front of Southern, and then third in total defense, about 19 yards behind Southern. So defensively, that's their mainstay.
So I'm looking at the preseason All SWAC choices, and then they also had another DB, Kel Jackson, who's
Hmm.
listed as second team defensive back. So that's your four DBs right there who are impact players, and you got two of them that's on All SWAC on the All SWAC preseason team. So defensively, I think yeah, Alabama State is going to be a tough go for the Jaguar offense. Now, with that being said, we talked about the quarterback situation at Alabama State. You got Auburn transfer and D Davis, and then you got UAB transfer Damon Stewart. Now, do you think so we've heard rumblings that D Davis has struggled in practice in preseason, over the summer. Do you think that D Davis has a short leash when it comes to this weekend?
It's kind of hard to say. Talking to Hornet fans, they want D Davis to have a short leash because they felt like they had a championship defense and they let it go to waste a year ago.
Mhm.
They don't want that thing to happen again. They want him to have a short leash, and they would like to see what Damon Stewart or what Quay Licht, redshirt freshman from right here in Atlanta, Georgia, highly regarded what he can do. Now he's out of the quarterbacks, he's the big guy. He's 6'3", about 200 pounds. Um, but they're hoping that it's a short leash.
Mhm.
Alabama State felt like they let some games get away because of D. Davis's play, particularly against Florida A&M and particularly against Jackson State. And they plan to win on Saturday. All they've been talking about is the upset, and they feel like if they can get their quarterback position right, that they have an opportunity to do so.
Yeah, yeah, that'll be the big thing for them to have that quarterback play right before this weekend because I think Southern returns a good defense that got after the quarterback last year. And if D Davis is not on point, then I feel like we definitely would reap the benefits of it. So let's switch to the other side. We got Dooley coming in here with a pretty successful season last year. There was some QB woes last year, but we happened to make it to the SWAC championship. So coming into this weekend, we have a new quarterback and Harold Blood, who he announced. So that'll be one of my impact players for this weekend. Um, if Harold Blood gets comfortable in the pocket, he hits the short throws, he hits the long throws. I think that'll be one of the keys to us being successful. Some other impact players on offense, I think for Southern is definitely the offensive line. I think last year we ran the ball a significant amount. So in coming into this year, I think we have a lot of running backs, some great running backs in the running back room. With Kobe Dillon, and Quarles, the transfer for Alabama A&M. So if that offensive line can get going against this physical Alabama State defensive line and defense, then I think we have a good opportunity to win this game. And I just want to shout out some of those offensive linemen. They call themselves the largest on social media. So we got Juan Gonzalez, Bernard Childs, Kyrie Wade, Travion Newsom, Eli Fields, Bryce McNair, Tristan Paul, and plenty of others. So those are my impact offensive guys for Southern this weekend. You got any impact players from Southern on offense this weekend?
Remember Kobe Dillon.
Oh yes.
Remember what Kobe Dillon did at Arkansas Pine Bluff 2 years ago? Young man was injured all year last year. I think Kobe Dillon, if he can have one of those Kobe Dillon games, I think people forgot just how special this young man is when the football is in his hands. If Kobe Dillon is back to being Kobe Dillon, you can look at.
Right. And so that's a big key, the running game. I think the running game is Cameron Foster also. My apologies for forgetting him. I know he was hurt a few weeks ago, so I probably forgot his name. But the running game is very important. I think when you establish the running game with Kobe Dillon and Quarles and C.J. Russell and the other plethora of backs we have, I think that makes your quarterback comfortable once he drops back in the pocket. That shows that helps the quarterback make easier throws and more comfortable throws. And I think we got the playmakers on the outside. We get that big play where Blood throws it downfield to Jalen Howard. I think he's taking it in for six because that Jalen Howard definitely has speed to get past those safeties. So
Hmm.
yeah, establish the run on offense. And then that in return makes the quarterback more comfortable in his throws. So on defense, which we have a lot of starters returning. I got Jordan Carter, who is also a first team All SWAC preseason selection, who had 3 interceptions last year. And then also we have Jalen Campbell, who is also a SWAC preseason selection. So I think these two being the leaders of the defense, I think they can if they gather the troops on defense, make sure we play physical ball, make sure we play assignment ball. I think this will be a easy game for us to put in a bag defensively. So definitely, if D Davis plays D Davis football, I think this will be a good game for us defensively.
Absolutely. And the biggest thing is defensively is don't give up any big plays. You want to make Alabama State earn everything. And then the thing about D Davis, if he's not doing it with his arm, cannot allow him to do it with his feet.
Hmm.
With his feet, he kind of kept that offense going and kind of kept it moving at some times last year. So it's going to be very important when you blitz, defensive line, keep containment because he's an athlete. And Damon Stewart's an athlete too. So it's going to be very important. Make sure when you get to him, you put him on the ground. Not the biggest guys in the world. They're looking very much looking forward to that. And then special teams. Alabama State struggled special teams wise a year ago, as far as kicking field goals and extra points. That can be something that's big in a game like this. And Southern does an outstanding job of blocking punts. Blocked 4 of them last year. Keep that in mind.
Oh yeah, special teams are definitely a big part. We got both playing at the punter, who I thought was one of the best punter in the SWAC last year, but I know the numbers didn't go right, so he didn't make a first team. But if the offense does get in trouble, I do have faith in this punter with pinning the opposing offense for their own territory. Um, so yeah, let's switch and we can talk about the keys to winning. So offensively, kind of talked about this earlier. That's establishing a run. Um, that offensive line taking control of Alabama State's defensive line and using those running backs to wear Alabama State's defense down. I think if you can establish that run, it'll make things go much easier. Then my second point is in my notes I got spot the ball, and when I say spot the ball, you and I know that Dooley's offense is high throttle, full speed. Once the ball is down, you at the line in 5 seconds. So along with establishing the run and running a fast paced offense where you back on the ball in 5 seconds, I think all of those will add up and get and wear down Alabama State's defense down pretty quickly.
I'm with you on that one.
Then we got for defense. I think defensively we need to make the quarterback throw. We talked about this earlier also. Uh, D Davis is a running quarterback, but they would like him to throw, and I think when he does throw, that's when he makes mistakes. So if we can just contain the quarterback, make him throw the ball in the air, I think he'll give us some points on defense. Maybe, hopefully, two or three points that 2 or 3 touchdowns D Davis could give us if he does throw the ball. Any key victories you thinking that you want to add on to what I just said?
Offensively, don't turn the ball over. Make Alabama State earn everything. You don't want to do anything like turn the ball over, give them short fields. So doing things like that, and also, man, Harold Blood has to play within the offense. If he's efficient, don't turn the ball over. Take what the defense gives you. He's going to be all right. And the receivers got to catch the ball. We talked about the length of that secondary back there, and that physical. They like to put their middens on it.
Mm-hmm.
You're gonna have to make some contested catches, and you're gonna have to make some catches where you're gonna get some contact. So that's one of the bigger things. And then defensively, stop the run. They want to run the ball, whether it's with the quarterback or the running back. They want to run the ball. Take that away. And number one, you talk about Keyshawn Johnson.
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't need a perfect pass to be thrown to him. And we've seen last year when he's covered, it doesn't matter. He can still go get it. You got to make sure you cover him. You got to contest the ball at his highest point. This young man, he doesn't give up. And then, hey, when the ball comes your way, intercept it, take it to the house. Can't be dropping interceptions. Also, first game, jitters, penalties,
Oh yeah.
mental mistakes. Whoever can minimize those, that's the team that's going to have a leg up.
Okay. And you talk about receivers. You talk about a big secondary. I think Southern also has some larger corners with Christian Davis at about 6 foot, and then what's his name? Rodney Johnson at 6'3". So we got bigger guys at the corner spot, maybe a little undersized at safety, but those guys in at the center field position at free safety and safety, I think those guys roam the field well for us. Um, so going into this weekend, would you expect there to be a large crowd this weekend, maybe a sellout crowd, or
Yes, that's what they're pushing for. Yes.
okay?
This will be um, talk to Travis Jerome, the SID, Alabama State. We're talking about they're looking at this probably be top four, top five crowds they've had. So they're looking at 20,000 plus in the building.
Yep. So I was looking up earlier. It looks like Southern is on a 5 game win streak against Alabama State. Alabama
Hmm.
State hasn't beat Southern since 2012, so over 10 years at this point. And I think the Jaguars have never lost in this new stadium. So I
Yep.
think Alabama State's definitely got a chip on their shoulder and has something to prove this weekend with that losing streak. So I think
Yep.
they'll
And,
be ready to
and
play.
and you got to think last year Alabama State goes 6-5, their first winning season um, since 2014. But you don't get credit for winning certain games. You have to
Right.
beat one of the powerhouses of the conference, whether it may be Southern, Grambling, Jackson State, or recently Alcorn or FAMU. You have to beat one of those powerhouses to legitimize your program. And they're looking at this as an opportunity to kind of validate the program here a little bit.
Yeah, and I think it goes the same way on the other side also. You know, Southern University fans last year, I guess kind of we underachieved. Everybody was thinking SWAC championship or bust last year. And then the quarterback play wasn't up to par. So I think this game will be a big statement for the Jaguar football team and Harold Blood being at the helm at quarterback and showing the people that Dooley is a competent coach and competent play caller. To get us over that hump and to start giving us championships in Baton Rouge.
I think everybody's excited in Jaguar Nation to see what the quarterback is going to look like. I have confidence in Harold Blood. Heard nothing but great things about him, and as well as those guys behind him. I think this is a very, very talented team, and I think this is an opportunity to go in a hostile environment to play a solid football team. This is a game that you make a statement
Oh yes,
about. So this is as much as this could be a statement game for Alabama State. This is a statement game for Southern. So I think that you win this one and start the year off on the right foot. All the momentum carries over into next week when you got that team from Mississippi coming on down to Baton Rouge.
oh yes, and we know that definitely would be a barn burner right there.
Hmm.
If from what we've seen already, I think the home side is already sold out for the Jackson State game, which is in 2 weeks. So they still have some East Side Munford tickets left if y'all do want to take advantage of those. I'm not sure how they're doing it now if you have to go online or whatever if you want to buy them virtually, but I know people have been going into the mini dome to get their tickets. Is Davin Cotton back? Yes, from what I've heard, Davin Cotton is back. You had Davin Cotton in the middle, along with
Hmm.
first team All SWAC Taj Brown. You got Latrell. It's a plethora
Troy
of
Johnson,
defensive
yeah.
linemen. Yep.
Yeah, they're nice up there. They're nice up there. The key is going to be health. Those guys got to eat, man. They got to eat on Saturday. Got to take the fight to that offensive line from Bama State. Believe it or not, Bama State returns the entire offensive line. I don't know if that's a good thing or bad thing because they couldn't do anything up front a year ago. So we'll see.
Now we looked at this offensive line at the spring game. I think they had a spring game on YouTube, and I think a lot of times the offensive line, was giving up a lot of sacks. So, from my point of view, I think we'll definitely be successful against this offensive line, even though they are experienced. So,
Yeah.
I think we should take good advantage of that offensive line. And so also this weekend, I think the Southern University fans are tasked to wear their Columbia blue this weekend. While they in Montgomery, I think Alabama State is wearing white. Also, I think on-campus parking is sold out. So if you are driving, the free parking is at Patterson Field, which I think is the baseball field, if
Yes,
I'm
it
not
is.
mistaken.
Right across from Crampton Bowl. It's gonna be the easiest thing for you. You can park there. It's free. Alabama State has shuttles running from Patterson Field to the campus pretty much all day. So, man, park your car, lock your items up now. Lock your items up. I'm saying lock your
Please,
items up.
Locker.
Because
Please.
I've seen the guy who was security, and yeah, he gonna be in his phone tweeting, and they gonna be in your car, right? So lock your items up, man. Get on the bus, man. Come on over, man, and let's support the Jags. One of the special things about being a part of Jaguar Nation is we offset your home field advantage. There are very few places that we go where someone has a home field advantage over us because of how well Jaguar Nation travels. And we're looking to do the same thing. Looking to see Jaguar Nation full effect in your Columbia blue. In your Columbia blue. Usually, there's two people in my house wearing Columbia blue. My wife ain't rolling with me this week. She's from
Wow.
Montgomery.
Wow.
She Bama State through and through, man. She's from Montgomery. Yeah, as y'all guys know, my dad played at Bama State. I got a cousin that's playing for Bama State right now. Half my family's Bama State. So this one right here means a lot to me, man. This the family rivalry right
House divided. I mean, I might have to bring my white folding chair with me just in case. As you
here.
get in any trouble. So
White folding chairs also. Bring your white
yeah,
folding chairs.
yes indeed. So man, we excited about this weekend. I'm definitely making a trip. I'm driving down from Atlanta on Saturday morning. You probably doing the same thing. Same thing also. I'm
Yeah,
looking
man. What
forward
time
to
you leaving? Stop, man. You stop by the house, man. Just trail me.
probably 12ish. I don't
Oh,
know.
I'll be gone by then.
See, I'm trying to get out early too. I'm
I'll
trying
be
to
gone
get.
by then.
We'll talk. We'll talk. We'll talk. We'll
All
talk.
right.
So look, make sure y'all travel safe this weekend. Wear your Columbia blue. Uh, and yeah, let's go into Montgomery with our white folding chairs and get us a win and bring it back to Mumford and get ready for next week. So
Right.
um, make make sure y'all like the stream, subscribe and send it to people. And make sure y'all follow us on all social medias. It's Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter also. Um, and we'll have more interviews coming up. We'll have a preview next week at Jackson State, and then a recap from Alabama State also next Wednesday at the same time. Appreciate y'all tuning in. Go Jags.
Go Jags.